So while the cello carries on playing this piece, I'm just going to explain a little bit about why music for me is important for kind of keeping one's head level. This piece is really, really ancient. It's called La Folia, and it's the most covered song in history. It's probably about 600 years old. Pretty old. And a folia is actually the old Italian word for a fold. And in fact, a folia became a folio, which is an album. It's a notebook. It just means a notebook. This piece is about the process of putting marks on paper, which is kind of where I came across peace love for the first time. The process of creating for the sake of finding some kind of balance. Not curing things, but finding a kind of solace. And for me, writing music, literally writing it, and throwing it at other people is my way of exorcising those dark clouds that we all get. So I'm going to play this piece. I'm going to sit back down and join it, my ghost cello. And if you like, if you've got a pen and paper, just doodle, just write down things that are bugging you. It might be my British accent, I don't know. It might be something that's going on in your head. I'm not offended, sit and draw a picture, but just have an exercise of playing along, taking a line for a walk, like Paul Clay says, if you want, while I play this piece called La Folia. I don't play the cello for a living. I kind of do this for fun. I trained as a cellist, and very seriously, very classically. And I realized it didn't actually make me happy playing music by dead white people. I'm not racist, it's normally by dead white people. And so I said to my cello teacher, I want to compose music. And she looked at me with abject horror and said, why do you want to do that? I said, well, because I kind of want to get my hands dirty and kind of, if I was a racing driver, I'd want to understand how the engine works. And she looked at me and just said, we do not do that. So I left her after a very long time of learning with her. And I'm very glad I did. I think it was the right thing to do, because for me, the process of making stuff up is actually where the melancholy can just eke away a little bit. And that's really important, because it's all too easy to crush people's creativity and for us to crush our own creativity. And the main block I come across when I go, for instance, into a big important company and say, we're going to do a workshop on creativity, like how to generate new ideas for business or whatever, people are very scared to have ideas. They're very scared to have ideas in case the ideas are crap. Yeah? Which is a bit like me. If I sit and try and write a piece of music, it might not be very good. And my job is writing film music. I have to write loads of scores a year, and it's relentless, and it's fun, but you have to gamify it. And if you write a piece of music and you send it to the director and they say that doesn't work, you need to be able to stand back from it and think, yeah, actually what I wrote, that's not me. At the time it was my heart and soul, but it's not me. If they say, yeah, what you did there, that's crappy, I can say, yeah, it is. But you know what? I can write another one. So the trick is actually to write loads of stuff, to put lots of marks on paper. And I'm not talking about music here. I'm talking about painting. I'm talking about creative writing. I'm talking about dance, stand-up, whatever it is. Produce as much stuff as you possibly can. And actually, if you've got your notebook and you're trying to come up with an idea, you know, the blank page, the tabula rasa, as they call it in Latin, which is the blank wax tablet, the enemy is actually not knowing kind of where to start. But actually, everything you need is already in the room with you. And I'm going to put myself on the line here a little bit. I think it's possible to actually make things from thin air, literally from the people next to you. So I'm going to pick somebody in the front row here. You're all looking very nervous, especially you. So, yes, with a laptop. What's the last 4 numbers of your cell phone? 9591. Great. So we can turn that, and anything can be turned into music, anything can be turned into art, you know. So 9591. We can turn that into a musical scale. We take 9 if this is O. So it's 9 1. Okay. So what's your name? Megan. Megan. Correct. This is a piece all about Megan. Okay. If it's no good, you see, it's not my fault. It's Megan's fault. Not a bad piece. So thank you, mate. Not my, sorry, that's terrible, that's very modest, but that was hers, not mine, you see. And the trick is just to have lots of ideas. And I try and write 100 tunes a day. 99 of them are rubbish. I might keep that one and turn it into a piece of TV music, but you're not getting any royalties at all, because that's mine. Now, when you find it hard having ideas, do what Stephen King suggests, which is you just sit down and copy other people's stuff. Literally write it out, because it's true. Not that he then publishes it as his own, but it's a serious point. It's finding the rhythm of someone else's act of creation means you suddenly start to hallucinate and become, it's infectious. You get those habits. It's the same with your painting. Picasso had this thing that, all artists, borrow, but great artists steal. He was constantly kind of sampling other people's work. And in fact, his great struggle, which I always love, is saying that, when he was a child, he could draw like Leonardo, but when he was an adult, he was desperate to paint like a child again. And that was his whole kind of journey. When I'm writing scores for films, if it's been a particularly big kind of exorcism, trying to get these ideas out, and it really is an exorcism, I will hear a piece of music that I wrote last week, and I have no idea I'd written it at all. So for me, that's a form of therapy. And I write very miserable music, which gives me great joy, kind of giving it to others. But I tend to also then draw the piece to finish it. So Matt mentioned that the Star Wars trailer I wrote. So I don't know if we've got the slide up there. But so this is actually the piece of music itself. So once I've finished a project, I then wrap it back round and will then normally send it to the person I've been working with and say, hey, we did this, there you go. And that's my way of kind of putting a lid on it and moving on. And to finish with, I just want to borrow someone else's piece of work, and I love the message of this particular tune, and I wish I'd written it, and its title, if you translate it, is Live the Life. And thank you very much for listening.